I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Sunday, November 19th, 2017. Now, what's going on today is that we have the moon hanging out right here. Oh man, that was a fail at a circle. We've got the moon hanging out right here in Sagittarius, okay, bringing our thoughts and our attention to doing something new, something exciting, finding the passion and the happiness in life once again, also trying to make sense of our life in some way. Because we have Saturn here, and because we have Mercury here, and because that's where big new moon is going to be next month as well. Also thinking very much so about the future, okay, and how we can do what we need to do here to start to get moving on this journey and on this thing that we're starting and on this new thing that we're doing, okay, as we move forward. So I think that's what's going on there with the moon hanging out in Sagittarius. Now, as it's hanging out in Sagittarius, as we're trying to think about doing something new, finding the excitement in life, making sense of our life, and really committing to something new in life, some new journey, some new thing that we're doing, that we're going on, there could be some confusion coming up here with the moon making a square over to Neptune at 10 a.m. Utah time, okay? Some confusion that as we're trying to do this new thing, as we're trying to bring the adventure back into our life, bring the excitement in, maybe something not feeling quite right inside, where Neptune is in Pisces, which rules your insides, not feeling quite right spiritually about it, maybe a little worried, maybe some things from the past coming up as well, maybe a little bit unsure about whether this new thing that you're doing, trying to find the excitement in life, trying to find the passion once again, is right for you and really resonates with you on the inside, that you're going to have to try to figure out. Now, this isn't like a new struggle here. We had Mercury just come through this square to Neptune last week, and we're going to have Venus and the Sun, which are eventually going to come through there as well in the next month. But I think we're still trying to figure out here, this new thing that we're doing and this new thing that we're working on, is it really for us or not? Is it something that's really good for us and that really resonates inside, and really having to overcome some confusion here to figure out what it is that you really want, what is it that really resonates with you, and continue to move forward on some new thing, okay? I know a lot of you, I get a lot of people who tell me that they're trying to do, or that there's a new job opportunity, or they're doing something new, they're studying something new, learning something new that's coming in, confused about whether or not you should do it. And I'm trying to tell you all with all my horoscopes, if there's something new that you have not done before that you're uncertain about, you should probably do this thing. Like, I'm almost certain you should do this thing here, but it's just a matter of working it out inside so that you can start to feel comfortable with this new thing that you're doing, and make sure that you can maneuver it into a right way that resonates with you. And I think that's what's going on here with the square to Neptune at 10 a.m. Now, that is going to sit with us for a little bit, for most of the day here, because the moon, after it makes a square to Neptune, doesn't really make any more aspects until 10 o'clock at night. So we think the whole day we're just kind of figuring out what's going on, why are we trying to do something new and still not feel quite right about it, and is it right for us, and maybe feeling a little bit confused, and really needing to understand that things are fine and that you need to do a new thing and really try to get comfortable with this new thing that you're doing, okay? So that's most of the day. And then what happens at 10 o'clock at night Utah time, which is going to be the next day for some of you, midnight for my East Coast people, we have a lot of things going on really fast. When the moon comes over Mercury, makes a sextile over here to Mars, and also makes a trine to the North Node. So I think after we've been confused all day, or worried, or not feeling quite right, and trying to be comfortable with some new journey, exciting thing that it is that we're trying to do, I think we get a big burst of energy here to start to communicate a lot, think a lot about some new thing that we're doing, to work some issues out, to understand them better, especially with Mercury stationing here. I think a lot of it has to do with other people too, trying to talk to other people, to process information with other people, to talk to other people about some new thing that it is that we're doing. I think that's also a huge thing that comes in. Us as well, doing a lot of thinking about ourselves and what we can do to put our life in a much better place too, and to move forward on something new. I think that's a big thing that's coming up. We start to get all of this energy and all of this communication with other people, and thought also helping us as well to do the North Node thing and to be happier with life, to find more passion and excitement, and to move forward really quickly doing some things that we know that we've been called to do, okay? So I think today is one of those like kind of weird, interesting days where like we're frustrated in the morning, maybe we're confused, uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, late at night, we start getting a whole bunch of energy here. We start feeling much better to do some things that it is that we need to do to put our life in the right direction, to have other people help us, and to feel much better about some of the things that we are doing. All right, and lots of mental activity going on. So I think that's what's happening there. Maybe the day starts a little confusing, but ends much, much better. Okay, in a much more positive direction, where you start to make more progress than perhaps you have yesterday night and in today. Now, the stuff going on in the background that we have here is, while we're doing a lot of communicating, especially at night, going on, and a lot of thinking and a lot of trying to move forward, we do have Mars here still in the square to Pluto. So all this stuff that's going on that in our relationships that we're talking about with other people as we're trying to do some new thing, I think there's also some changes that we're making with other people as well, to make sure that other people know where our life is going, are on board with our life and where it's going, and can start to help us move our life in the right direction. So I think people are going to be huge today, of course, tomorrow, the past few days, to really work things out with people and have people help you and understand you and make some big progress on things that are important to you. As to where yesterday, there could have been some weird things that came up with people, some deep conversations that came up, or maybe some frustrations with people in some way. I think today it's going to be a lot better for us here to really begin to work with people, with the moon, of course, making the sextile over to Mars, really allowing our conversations to be much more productive about where we're going, and as we're making some changes and some big, maybe scary changes in relationships, to have the help that we need to make sure that everything is okay. All right. So I think that's what's going on there. Of course, Mars as well, also making the sextile to Mercury and a sextile to the North Node, which is what the moon is doing. So the moon's triggering all of these things going on with Mercury and Pluto, trying to make things better, to help us have the conversations we need in relationships, to make sure they're okay, and to make sure that we can be happy with people as we move forward doing something that it is that we need to do. So there's just like kind of weird, because we've got the moon doing its own thing, and then we've got another cluster of planets like kind of all hooking up together, interlocking, going on, which kind of makes for an interesting alignment that I haven't seen in a while. On top of that, we have Jupiter and Venus still here making the trine to Neptune coming in. So us still trying to make some changes in our life as we're doing something new, as we're trying to work some things out with people, as we're trying to make sense of our life and to be happier in life, still also having to end or begin some things to put our life in the right place. I think these things that we're ending and beginning, and I think these changes that we're making in life and these deep feelings that we're trying to uncover in some way, we're rearranging money as well, I think is really going to help us to start to feel more comfortable in our life once again, okay, to find the peace, to get right with ourselves, and to overcome some things from the past too. Even if we're still struggling a little bit to feel comfortable doing some new thing, I think making the changes that we need to make is really going to help us to feel a little bit better, even if we still are uncertain about other parts of our life in some way. Okay, Venus as well starting to square, starting to sextile Pluto coming in. These changes that we're making also really helping us to put our life in the right direction in some way, to do something that we need to do, not just feel comfortable with ourselves, but to put our lives in a better spot too, so that we can overcome some of these hard feelings as well. All right, that happening there. And then the last thing I think that I want to talk about, just trying to make sure I don't miss anything just because there is so much, is Saturn still. I've been mentioning this for a few days, and the trine to Uranus, again giving us more of the boost to get things done that it is that we need to do, okay? So I see lots of good things going on today to really think about your future, to try to overcome, I mean, especially at the nighttime, even if the morning's a little confusing, but lots of good things to think about your future, to think about things that you want, to think about something new that you're doing, and especially at nighttime to make some big progress on it, and to work with your relationships here, to change some of your relationships and put them in a much better place, and to have much easier time at communicating with people here, especially at the nighttime, but still needing to make some changes here to your life. And I think the more that you make these changes to your life, to put your life in the right direction, you're going to overcome some of these fears that it is that you have about something new that you're doing, and some of these insecurities, and just feel better about life overall, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now, your card for the day is the Knight of Cups. This is a great card. Upright. This is a card of creativity and intuition and emotions. When it's upright, it's normally have lots of creativity coming to you. Also being very intuitive, you being able to use your intuition as well, and being able, I think, to work with people to do something emotionally and put something in place emotionally that feels better for you and that really resonates with you in some way here. So I think there's a lot of good things coming in today. This Cups card also reminds me a lot of Neptune here, and you've got Venus and Jupiter making the trine to Neptune. You've got Mercury as well making the square to Neptune. So I think the key today is, again, to let yourself explore your options, to try new things, to be creative, and to have the hope and faith that things are going to turn out okay. And I think if you can believe that things are okay, I think if you can let yourself explore your options and be creative and try things in new and different ways, it's going to give you a really big opportunity here to move forward on something that you know deep down is going to make you comfortable, that you know deep down really resonates with your heart and with your spirit and with your soul, and to really begin, especially at the nighttime, to put things into place, especially if you're being compassionate about it and not forcing things and not being too judgmental as well with yourself or other people. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.